Hi Kushal, how are you doing?
Hey Shefali, I'm good. How's you?
I'm great too. I wanted to show you something very interesting that I came across in machine learning. It looks like the number of partnerships between pharmaceutical companies and artificial intelligence companies, so basically companies that use AI as their primary technology, has been increasing exponentially over the last few years. And just last year, there were over 300 such partnerships that were announced. At the same time, the number of papers that are coming out on machine learning applications in biological research that use omics data has also been increasing very rapidly. So it seems like something big is brewing up with machine learning and biological research.
Wow. Machine learning has, of course, been used a lot for analyzing biomedical images. But it's very exciting to see that its use in omics data is also picking up quite rapidly.
Yeah, I just hope that this trend continues to grow and it's not just a temporary phenomenon.
I do believe that it will be a long term trend. I think it was always a question of when and not if.
Yes, I think so too. The major success of AlphaFold 2 in predicting protein structure definitely brought machine learning applications on data other than imaging to the forefront for the general public. And for those of us in the industry, there have been several other applications where machine learning is being increasingly used. To name a few, machine learning has now been used for identification of novel biomarkers, which has led to better diagnostic tests. It's also been used to find better drug targets against which new drugs are being developed. And then in the development of those novel drug molecules. I'm pretty certain that the wide range of applications that machine learning has, along with its application on different types of biomolecular data, instead of being limited to just one type of application on one type of data, is playing a big role in fueling this growth in the industry that we are seeing in increased adoption of machine learning. And what is also interesting now is that these applications are not just a promise, they're being realized in the market. To give a specific example, Excitia, which is a company focused on using AI to find drug molecules, found a drug candidate and brought it to phase one clinical trials last year in partnership with a biotech company. At Elucidata, we've also partnered with a biotech company and used machine learning with multi-omics data to identify new targets in acute myeloid leukemia, which we have also validated in experiments. And we were able to achieve this in under 6 months, a process which typically tends to take at least a couple of years.
I am glad you brought AlphaFold 2 in our conversation because I think it's perhaps the most amazing machine learning algorithm to have come out in recent times. But at the same time, I also hope that this does not make people go to the other extreme and think that machine learning can solve everything.
Yeah, that's a really critical point because when we list out this wide range of applications on so many different types of data, it feels like machine learning is a magic wand. At the same time, some critics will also go in the opposite direction and claim that, oh, isn't machine learning just glorified statistics?
Yes, in some sense, yes. But some people may find that very annoying. However, what I find very amazing about machine learning is that it can capture so much diversity in such simple, elegant algorithms. For example, in simpler statistics and regression algorithms, you have to explicitly choose a function that you wish to fit to the data. But in machine learning, you can just choose a generic model, like, for example, an artificial neural network, and the algorithm will find the appropriate function for the data just by tuning the parameters during the training process. I find that very, very amazing.
Oh, absolutely. And this is also the reason why it's becoming extremely relevant for biomolecular data like omics data, because the number of features run into thousands. So, for example, if we are doing a gene expression experiment, in each sample, we'll be measuring 20,000 genes, which makes a manual choice of fitting function almost impossible. Another aspect of machine learning, which is equally relevant in driving its adoption in biological research, I think, is the ability of machine learning algorithms to make good predictions using data which they have not seen during the training process. And this is very different from usual statistical optimization.
Yeah, I am very glad that you brought this up because, biological systems behave very differently from physical systems. And because of that, predictability on a wide variety of biological data sets has been a huge problem, because living organisms do not follow, some simple rigid set of, rules, which are easy to find, like we have been able to do so in physics. Now, if machine learning algorithms are able to learn these hidden patterns in biological data and help us in designing better drugs and making other biological discoveries, that will not just revolutionize biology, but it will also bring about a new way of doing data driven science, which the world has not seen before. I am also excited about the fact that this data driven science will help in breaking academic silos and also help in moving the whole scientific community towards more interdisciplinary work. Computational biology, for example, has already brought together biology and the computer science community. However, machine learning applications will take this collaboration a lot farther and deeper because of the much wider scope of these techniques.
Yeah, and even though interdisciplinary work is generally hard to foster in any organization, but I feel that with machine learning applications, it's a little different because the need is from both sides. Biological research need machine learning experts for the code and their expertise with these algorithms. And machine learning experts will need biological researchers' expertise with the data.
Yeah, that's true. But to be honest, this will require a lot of hard work to bear fruit. Since biological data sets are usually small in size, because, collecting biological data is very expensive and these data sets are often very noisy, which makes it quite difficult to apply the commonly known ML techniques.
Yeah, this is a very common problem because most problems in biology have this limited data available. And having this small amount of data for any problem also requires a data-centric machine learning lens as opposed to model-centric machine learning lens, which is something Andrew Ng talks about a lot.
Oh, yeah, of course. He's a role model for many. And I think the world needs a lot more ML leaders like him.
Absolutely. I am really influenced with his premise that for a lot of real world applications outside of internet companies, what will really drive success in machine learning projects is focus on the quality of data being used and not the focus on models, which is what the traditional approach in machine learning has been. And this concept of focusing on the data is quite familiar to biological researchers. They're always asking if the data they have is good or not, regardless of whether they're using it for machine learning or just classical statistics.
That's actually very, very encouraging. And the same data lens needs to be now brought to a machine learning project because, sometimes there's a perception that machine learning, again, is something like a magic wand which can figure out what's in your data even when the data is not clean or of good quality, which is not the case, and not paying attention to data can be very, very expensive.
Yes, absolutely. There are so many different factors that determine quality of biological data, right from experiment design to how the sample was collected, to the kind of metadata that was recorded, the type of measurements that were made, and how and what the quality of those measurements were. And all of these factors have to be taken into consideration when preparing your training data. And in addition to this, you're also spoiled for choices. For any given problem, there are so many different types of data that you can use. For example, you can use genomics, you can use proteomics, metabolomics, flow cytometry data. So how do you even decide where to begin?
Yeah, that's definitely a very hard problem. And, there is no easy one size fits all answer while deciding what data to choose for a particular problem of interest. And this is precisely why you need interdisciplinary projects where, subject matter experts from the biological domain and machine learning experts, they have to work closely throughout the duration of the project. This is unlike other interdisciplinary projects where the interaction may be limited to certain times of the project. But here the interaction has to be a lot more regular and continuous during the project.
But Kushal, won't the machine learning folks just run away due to so much overdose of biology and talk of quality of data? Like, don't they really love to talk about really complex models and which model is the most complex and the best?
Well, yeah, you are right. They will run away initially, but the money will bring them back, because here we are not just talking of problems of academic interest, which may lead to some, papers in some conferences, but these are problems whose solutions will have significant measurable impact at a global scale with monetary implications as well. And history has shown that intelligent people love taking up challenges that lead to measurable outcomes.
I really hope that happens. The cost of not collaborating and not focusing on good quality data will surely be extremely high, and it can have very adverse real world consequences. And it was actually measured in a recent paper that came out by Google Research, which I highly recommend reading. It was titled "Everyone Wants to Do the Model Work, Not the Data Work." I am also really, really glad to see that there is increasing conversation in the machine learning community about data-centric machine learning, and biological researchers need to be a very active part of this conversation because they are often the ones who are generating these data and understand them the best.
Cool, Shefali. On that positive note, let me go grab some hot coffee.
Yeah, me too. Talk to you soon about some really exciting applications, machine learning applications in biology.
Great. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.